All right, we can't go live.
Hello,
Hello, is this Kaku?
speaking.
Hey, this is. But how do you pronounce that, by the way? I don't want to be pronouncing it wrong, my man. This is Edwin who spoke to you earlier.
Yes, sir. You can just use my middle name if you want, Pete.
Pete?
It's a little easier. Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I just hate calling people the wrong name because I'm so bad with
No
names,
problem.
man. Hey, so do you have a couple minutes so we can talk about that offer we spoke about earlier?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I did submit it to my acquisition analyst, and we were able to go ahead and pretty much put something together for you. And I'm just gonna give it to you straight, just because you are a guy that just pretty much doesn't like to go ahead and mess around, just kind of get to the point. So they came in at pretty much 54,000 because we have to go ahead and still pay for closing costs and rehab the property and take over the tenant if they're month to month. So is that something that would be able to work for you?
Well, yes, sir. Now, I spoke to someone else today. Now, are you the chap from Colorado?
No, I'm actually right here from Jacksonville.
That's right. I looked at your 904. Well, I spoke to another person from Colorado,
Uh-huh.
and he made a tentative offer of 56.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that's impossible, but I mean, the only complication I can think of, I don't think that. I mean, you get a lot of offers, and
Well, I called you earlier today, Edwin. I don't know if you recall.
Yeah, yes, sir. I told you I would think about it, and I would call you back when I had thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of my thinking was this other fellow called me and offered 56. I can't say I really believe it.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm kind of inclined to do it, but I just want to tell you about this one potential complication.
Yeah, go ahead.
I spoke to my tenant today because his due date was yesterday about the rent. And he told me that he had applied to a program that is Our Florida. Do you know what Our Florida was?
Oh, okay. Is that like
Or
a
is?
home buying program or something?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, what happened during COVID when the government said that landlords were not enabled to evict their clients for non-payment?
Yeah.
That's clearly illegal because they have deprived you of your property without compensation.
Right, exactly.
And in order to stay out of court, which it was obvious they would lose that case,
Yeah.
they created programs on a state-by-state basis, and here it was called Our Florida.
Okay.
And last year they did make a payment for him, and in fact they made another payment in February.
Uh-huh.
But when I spoke to him today, he told me he had received a notice on his phone that they had dropped an additional $2,500 into my bank account.
Wow.
Now I called my bank, and that deposit has not yet showed up. But assuming it's in there, I mean, the way I would normally hand that is that I would refund that money to you in the form of a credit at the closing.
Okay.
But that means that you would be blessed with the tenant.
Right.
And now his anniversary date is August 21st, 3 weeks away.
Okay.
At which time the lease automatically converts to a month to month.
Okay.
So one, assuming that is true, I mean, would you be amenable to just accepting whatever money is now prepaid rent as a credit against the purchase price, and then you would just have that tenant for however many months they paid for? Or is that something that would queer the deal for your operation? I mean, I can see it going either way.
So is that credit gonna be paying for following months, like future months, like October, November, or is it gonna be covering months from the past? That's what I'm kind of like confused on.
Well, no, he paid me some money in February, and that basically got him caught up. So it would pay some time into the future. Now, in the lease, his rent is $500 because That's what his original lease for when he rented the property.
March, April, May,
So that would, if they paid me $500 a month, and July was the first month, that'd be July, August, September, October, and November, for which he would be prepaid.
Okay.
But it would be at that rate of $500 a month, and I would assume that you would just want, if you wanted to do the deal, that would be as a credit against the closing costs.
So
Now, you may not want to jack with the guy for 5 months, which I could understand that.
yeah,
But if
well,
money is in my account, which it was not a few minutes ago, it may show up tomorrow. But he
Yeah.
told me he received a notice on his phone that the grant had been issued. So I'm assuming it's true.
okay, so pretty much he has credit up until when?
Well, it would be 5 months, and so I assume that would pay through November. It'd be July, August, September, October, and November.
Okay,
And so he would be prepaid for 5 months at $500 a month if the
August,
$2,500 is actually there.
September, October, November, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about 4 months. Yeah, 4 months. August, September,
Well-
October, November.
Well, if they pay him $500 and it's $500 a month, that's 5 months. And July would be the first month.
Oh, okay. So the whole 2,500 went towards credit for the next 5 months.
That is what I was told, but I called my bank robot system and the money was not in my account
Okay.
as of right now.
Yeah.
But he said he got a notice on his phone, and and it could take until tomorrow, for the payment to work through the system. I
Right.
don't know when they dropped it in my account. But assuming that is true, would that queer the deal for you?
No, because I mean, at the end of the day, for us, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. We're gonna switch tenants because we need more market rent. So the
Right.
best way would probably be either to have him move out and give it to him once gone through the process after 30 days properly, or and be an escrow, or because sometimes we want properties vacant, so we can go ahead and maybe like give him
Of
some
course,
money
no,
or something.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
Yeah, I understand the desirability of that, but
Yeah, I just don't think that right now at $500 for us to be able to use that for the next 5 months is gonna be something that our firm wants to do.
Sure.
Because if we take it over to the tenant and then we tell the tenant that we're gonna take it over, but then what if like unethical companies do this? Like they say they'll buy it with the tenant, and then 30 days later, once they're out of a contract, they're like evicting them or like telling them that they are the new owners and then they need to get out. So at the end of the day, I'm just being completely upfront with you. I'm not gonna lose your business over $2,000 for this property from $54,000 to $56,000. I'm not saying I can get it approved, but I can work something out with my team. The only thing is that I want to be able to go ahead and as well address that issue, just because any regular investor that is going to either fix and flip or just keep the property, they want to maximize their rent rates, right? So it's just like I'd rather be upfront about it.
Low. I mean, I'll admit that rent is low. It's
Yeah.
not really a current price.
Yeah, like I called you earlier and told you, like we more than likely would have to either apply to see if he would qualify to rent there. If not, he's gonna have to move in 30 days. But we'd be willing to comply with him.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I'm being completely frank with you. I'm always honest, but
Yeah.
sometimes I'm frank, and there's a difference between being frank and honest. I'm always honest, but I'm sometimes frank.
I appreciate that.
And that's why I'm telling you, he's paid up now due to government funding.
Yeah. So I mean, you can.
So-
I mean, technically, you could get away with keeping it, but realistically, and just let him know that you sold the property and that we're the new owners, and then we would start the process for, pretty much tenant vacancy required. Not eviction because he
Yeah.
hasn't paid. It's just that we would start the process to let him know that like he's gonna reapply, and we would pretty much like get the process going for that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be really up to you what you want to do at the end of the day. I really appreciate you being upfront about the issue. I want to be able to go ahead and just let you know that we'd probably prefer getting the property vacant, maybe that's something you gotta
Of
talk
course.
to him about. You know what I mean?
No, of course.
So we're all on the same page.
I'm the same way, so, I mean, I wouldn't, have any doubt about that.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to make sure you understood that if I have accepted prepaid rent, he's kind of protected for that, period of time.
Right. No, 100%.
But let me tell you, the last two times I needed to evict somebody, here it costs about $350, for filing fees and
Yeah.
and all the fees that you
Exactly.
pay. So what I've done the last two times, I've just offered the people $350 to voluntarily move.
Yep.
And both times they did it.
Yep. Exactly. It's
I mean,
called cash for keys.
I mean, my bottom line was the same. I spent $350, but I didn't have to run down to the to the courthouse. I didn't have to go to court. I didn't have to show up when the sheriff
It gets too messy.
papers, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. I don't mind doing something like that as well. So if that's something that maybe you want to talk to him about, and then we can touch base.
So if I offered him $2,000 to move by the end of the month, that might work.
Exactly.
But,
so at the end of the day, I mean, it's gonna be really up to you what you want to offer him. But as long as we can do an addendum, it's called pretty much a credit to the tenant. Then it just kind of goes through not the title company. You can give it to him cash. We can just save that file just to keep it in tracking, but it doesn't have to go through title. Just to go ahead and make it aware that, like, hey, he was able to get some credit as a tenant to peacefully move, because it's totally illegal.
But I wouldn't actually pay him until he is walking out the door.
Oh yeah, that too, right? Yeah. We don't. You're a smart guy, man. I definitely like it, because I mean, for me, we're just always looking away for being able to make transactions smooth. So sometimes I forget that we can actually do things like that. So I really appreciate the reminder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's worked the last two times. I had to have somebody move, and I mean, just basically they've got the choice. They can leave with empty pockets in a month, or they can leave next week for $350.
The less confrontational, the better we can go ahead and make the process smoother for everybody. So let's do that. When do you think we can go ahead and you can go ahead and talk to him, and I can follow up with you?
Well, the first thing I need to do is wait and see if the money actually shows up in my bank account.
Okay.
I mean, he told me just an hour ago that he had received a notice on his phone, which in the past they've always paid by check and rather than dropping it in my account, which they have the right to do it either way.
Right.
And I probably did give them my account number in February when they paid that $2,500.
Yeah.
And so that basically has called him up until the end of May. And if they paid, then we'll have that problem. But if there's some way that we can work around that, I mean, I'll do whatever it takes. But but this other place that offered, just said they were thinking about possibly their top number was 58, which they're going to want to back off of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that your deal is not competitive, because I'm not.
Yeah.
$2,000 makes a million dollars.
The reason we are always like a little bit off from most competitors is because we save enough money for emergencies like this. So that's why I'm able to have flexibility and see where we can throw more money at it, whether that's closing costs or pretty much rental buyouts and stuff like that as well. So at the end of the day, we want to be able to go ahead and help you just feel comfortable with somebody that understands the same page you're on, rather than having to work with people that are just trying to take the keys from you once they pay you,
Yeah. Well, most of the people that call me are land sharks, that I've mentioned before, is looking for someone.
These sharks are crazy. Yeah, I know.
And I'm neither. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to rent off the house. But at any rate, let me see if I've got a pen. I'm outside under the carport. Yeah, I've got a pen here. Let me write your number down again, so I'll make sure I haven't lost it. My desk.
It's not.
Blizzard.
Yep, 904.
Yes, sir.
901.
901.
6390.
6390.
Yep.
I'd rather deal with someone in Jacksonville than Colorado.
Es cierto.
Exactly.
I had an uncle Edwin. He was killed in the war
Sí,
serving
la
with.
Venezuela no es instrucción.
Edwin's an
Man.
old English name, so
Yo sé que
I
es tarde.
definitely
Quería
respect
preguntarle
it
si
if
a lo
it,
mejor
you
están
know, he
utilizando
was
o
a
quería recibir una
European.
oferta sobre ser propietario.
Yeah, well, my grandparents immigrated here from Finland. That's my name with two
See,
K's and three
Finland.
vowels.
Y aunque sea
There
por
you
el
go.
oferta y el tiempo
I had-
So, but you see two K's and three vowels. It's either Finnish, Hawaiian, or Greek.
Oh yeah.
I mean, pretty much.
Where-
But I did get an English middle name. I mean, that's
Yeah,
the
Pete
Finnish
as
custom
well.
is the firstborn male of each generation gets that as their first name.
Yep. That's how me and my brother are, Edwin, and the other one is Fabian. It's weird. I don't know where that came from. I heard it was from a hurricane named Fabian in 2011. So at the end of the day, I'm proud of my name. I'm not named after
Well,
a
it could be,
hurricane.
but Fabian is an old name also. I mean, not to be disparaging, but way back there was a group called the Fabian Socialists.
Oh, wow.
They were pretty much a bad news group. I mean, the socialists, but they were, I think, pretty much eugenicists also. But that's actually an old name as well.
It sounds like a Spaniard name for some reason.
I can see Spanish or Italian, one of the Romance languages.
I can definitely see that for sure. No, but more than anything, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to still go ahead and be able to compete here in the market with being able to talk to you. You're pretty much a landlord. A lot of landlords here in America are selling properties right now, and just being able to go ahead and work with them is a blessing because most of the time, our best clients are the people that are already in real estate. So it just makes my job easier. So thank you so much, and we'll go ahead and touch base once you go ahead and talk with him. Okay.
Well, the first thing I'll do is find out about the grant. If the grant does not exist, or I can't imagine him getting a notice on his phone and that it didn't happen. So I'm assuming that is true. But then we'll look at the best way to cross that.
Hopefully, right? Maybe he just said it to say it. I don't know. We'll find out. But thank you so
sir.
much. I really appreciate it, Pete, and we'll go ahead and talk here in the near future. All right.
Yes, sir. Hopefully tomorrow.
Thank you. Alrighty.
Yes, sir. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hello. Hi there, yes. My
We
name is
build
Jay.
rapport.
Please correct
We're
me
gonna
if
go
I'm
ahead and get
wrong.
that deal closed.
It's saying in the notes here
You gotta be able to
that
connect with these sellers, or else you're not gonna be able to pick up the deals and compete. Build rapport, be serious, control the conversation. Only took 17 minutes rather than talking for half an hour. We're gonna make sure to show you guys pretty much how we can go ahead and be able to maximize every lead down the line. But this is my first YouTube video, so check it out.